Hello everyone, thanks for watching this video first of all. Today we are going to take a look inside the sustainability management features in Dynamics 365 Business Central. Basically, let's start with the basics. What are CO2 emissions? CO2 or carbon dioxide, it's a greenhouse gas that is released when we burn oil or natural gas, for example. It's the major contributor to the climate change because it traps heat in our atmosphere. Now, you may think, but I'm not a factory. Why does this matter for my business? I can tell you one thing, every business generates CO2. Whatever you are, a manufacturing, a service provider, or a very simple local store, you generate CO2 emissions. Okay? Industries, for example, when they turn on their machines, when they execute their production process, when they are at this moment generating CO2 emissions, or for example, when they are transporting the goods that they have manufactured. So they generate CO2 emissions. Or for example, if you are a service company like a very simple barber shop, when the guy turns on their machine to start cutting your hair, basically he is already starting generating CO2 emissions also. Or if we think about a retail store, basically they started contributing with emissions when they turn on their heating systems, or for example, when they are shipping goods. Okay, so why my business will my business be required to report CO2 emissions data? Well, that really depends where your business is based on. Okay. So if we think, for example, about some countries in Europe, they are going to start reporting CO2 emissions reports very soon this year, 2025, because of regulations. So you have to start checking your local legislation just to be able to understand when you will need to start reporting CO2 emissions. Okay. So before we go to Business Central, let's break down the emissions into three different scopes. So the scope number one, it's basically the direct emissions. Okay. For example, when you are using the company car, okay, or when you turns on the production machine to start the manufacturing process itself on your company. And the scope number two, it's what we call indirect emissions. Okay. Let's say, for example, when you pay your energy bill, when you purchase energy in this case. Okay. This is a way of indirect emission of CO2. And the scope number three, in this case, it's everything else that you have on your company process. Even if, for example, a simple business travel, or when you have some waste on your production process. Okay, so let's start understanding those three different scopes. That's very important for what we are going to see in Dynamics 365 Business Central. Okay, so now let's go to BC. So here we are in Dynamics 365 Business Central, and you are probably able to see here that my role center it's a little bit different than the others. This is just because if I go here now to my settings, here I'm using a specific role that is related with the sustainability manager. Okay, that basically allows me to see specific information in my homepage related with CO2 emissions. Okay, for example, here I have the sum of the total CO2 emissions that I had in this month. Okay, as same as I can see also some goals here related with CO2 emissions and other greenhouse gases that I can set up inside the system, and also some insights with graphics related with this. Okay, the first page that I would like to show to you is the sustainability report. So that's a setup page where we centralize some basic configurations that are very important for the sustainability features inside the system. For example, the first here is what is the unit of measure that you want to use when you are registering, when you are posting sustainability entries. So we are going to see this next about sustainability entries, but I have many different ways of generating uh, sustainability records inside the system. And at the end of this process, I'm basically creating a sustainability entry, as same as we have general ledger entries, customer ledger entries, vendor ledger entries, item ledger entries. We also have now the sustainability ledger entries. Okay. So here you define what is the unit of measure that you want to book the sustainability entries. Let's say that for now you book this in kilo, but I don't know, maybe in a few months, the management changed internally the rules, and you need to start booking this in tons, for example. Okay, just for you to have an idea. And then next here we have a very classical configuration field where you can set the decimal place that you want to have when we are talking about emissions inside the system. Basically, here I'm saying that I want to book the amount with 5 decimal place. Okay. So next field here, it's also about the country. Okay. You can decide if country it's mandatory or not when you are booking the sustainability entries. So let's say that on your country, you will need to report this by country from where you are purchasing. Let's say that you are based in Germany, but you purchase energy from France, for example. I don't know if that exists, but it's just a very simple example where you will probably need to define the country as mandatory here. Okay? So you can also define that responsibility centers are mandatory in the sustainability entries. Okay. So let's say that you are using responsibility centers. So you will have accounting. Maybe you will have different responsibility centers according with the warehouse that you have on your system. So you can define this here as mandatory or not. Okay. So what we have more, I'm not going to talk in details about all the fields, just the most important ones. Here we have more. This one, it's very important, the procurement. Basically, you have two different ways of posting uh, carbon credits. Okay, you can decide to create a specific item that represents the carbon credit, and you want to post this separately from the other different purchase invoice that you have inside the system. Or if you enable this, you will also be able to see the sustainability fields directly in the purchase documents. Okay, we are going to take a look on this just next. Okay, so here we have also fields where you can define the decimal place according with the different calculations that we have for distance, for example, for electricity, uh, custom amounts, and then here you have what is also really important, the reporting unit of measure. Okay, you can decide, for example, that you will book the carbon emissions in kilos, but then you, let's say that on your country you need to report this inside the report. You want to report this in a different unit of measure, for example, again, the tons. Okay, so this is where you can set up this as same as some hounding factors that we have here available. Okay, so this is about the sustainability setup page. So that basically finished the first part, the first video, in fact, of the sustainability features inside Dynamics 365 Business Central. In the next episodes, we are going to see, we saw now the sustainability setup, that it's just the beginning of sustainability features inside Business Central. So we still have to check other features that are related, the sustainability account categories, sustainability journal templates, emission fees. We are going also to check inside the items where we have specific fields now related with the sustainability. We have also the sustainability chart of accounts that we are going to see. and also the sustainability journal and sustainability entries at the end. We also have to see, it will probably be one of the last videos about the sustainability reports that are also available in the financial reports inside Business Central. Okay. And also sustainability goals, which is very important. Okay. Thanks for watching again.